Hey everybody, this is Movie Versus, the podcast in defense of bad movies. This is prequel to episode 53. I'm Tyler Lamb. I'm here with Steve Janik. How's it going, Steve?
It's going pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh, yeah. I'm also here with Charlie Pixley. What's up, Chuck?
Yo.
And on this episode...
So I know I always have so much to say in this.
Yeah.
Nothing more needs to be said, though, Charlie.
On these episodes, we are going to get the movies assigned to us for the next episode. Also, we're going to talk about stuff we like. We're going to talk about some movie news stuff. And I don't know if anybody's seen anything they're planning to talk about. Steve, I think you said you have. I think you said you have a couple things that you.
I mean, there are a couple things that I've seen. I don't know if anyone cares to listen to them, if they are required, I will talk about them.
What is it again?
I watched all of Jessica Jones season 2, all of Sneaky Pete season 2, and all of that new Netflix original 7 Seconds.
Okay. Yeah, so that's
yesterday. All of this was yesterday. I watched them on 3 screens.
Jesus.
Simultaneously.
Yeah.
No, 4, because you also have The Boy Next Door going as well at all times.
I think at this point everyone knows that is just constant.
No, I just assumed that was picture-in-picture on each of the screens.
No,
Yes.
I actually have it set up so that I can overlay it over anything I watch. So it's just,
gotcha.
As I watch anything, I just get that.
And every other screen refreshes an image from there. So
yeah,
like
dude, have scientists
seizures.
gone too far?
Not far enough.
So yeah, that's what they like to call content in the biz. And we got plenty of it for this episode. Charlie, you're going to be assigning the movies. You said you got a few categories a little bit ago.
Yeah,
what
I
do you
got some interesting ones. Okay, so I'm going to present the 3
yourself
2-picture mashups and then let you guys pick from there.
Okay.
The first one, while I was driving over, I was like, man, I would really love to hear these two guys.
I was hoping this was going to go into like a super long, like when I was on my way here, I started thinking about life.
Well,
and
no.
I saw a baby bird.
Not quite like
taken
that. But when I was on my way over, I was thinking, wow, I would really like to hear these 2 guys discuss which is better, Grown Ups or Grown Ups 2, because I've seen neither of them. And it would really just be like, okay, which one has more scenes in it that I would like? Because they're going to be the same movie, just different set pieces.
Yeah, which one has more Kevin Smith? Not Kevin Smith, Kevin can wait.
Yeah. Yes. Which one
Kevin
has more
James.
Shaquille O'Neal? Because I am a fan.
I legitimately also could not think of his name.
Then
Now is that show title? How is wait spelled?
well,
Not the one you're thinking.
He clearly can do both options.
So one of your categories is just grown-ups versus grown-ups 2? Okay, so that's the torture porn category.
Yes.
I
both
feel
are
like
directed by Eli Roth.
I feel like all of these categories are going to be the same category, Tyler.
Yeah, the next category is grown-ups 2 versus grown-ups 1.
Okay. Then the other category is The Strangers Pray at Night versus Hurricane Heist.
Okay.
Are you guys familiar with those movies?
Oh, of course I am.
Very familiar.
Okay.
Only because, well, not only because, but I've seen some ads for Hurricane Heist. Every time I see, I know about this movie because I keep seeing ads for it. But no, every time I read that, I just think Hurricane Heist.
I think I do that too.
Isn't that Tony Kebbell dude in there too?
No, I think that was the dude from Fleetwood Mac.
No, but I think that poor bastard. I feel like
The guy from Fleetwood Mac?
no, Tony Kebbell, the actor who played Dr. Doom and
Tony Kebbell in
Fantastic
Bits?
Four.
Oh,
Yes.
the new one? Yeah.
Just feel like the poor son of a bitch. Like he's probably doing fine and stuff. I don't know. He just seemed so excited about that role, and then it ended up being so stupid. And he seemed really sad about it afterwards. So
About this Hurricane Heist thing?
No.
Well, no, about
Fantastic.
Dr. Doom.
Oh, Dr. Doom. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Because he had all these powers to blow people's heads up, and he never used them on the Fantastic Four.
Yes. So you have your 2 options, and then the final one is A Wrinkle in Time versus Death Wish.
Interesting.
Me and my school friends have been talking about Wrinkle in Time so much just because we're like, okay, now you know how, like, what's the quickest distance between these 2 points on this piece of paper? No, the actual fastest is you fold the paper in half because you know that that's going to happen in that movie.
Yes. Oh, it's in the trailer.
Oh, that's right. It is. It is in the trailer.
Yeah, because they have the little ant thing on the wire.
Yeah.
So I don't know. These are interesting matches. You would think that maybe Hurricane Heist, and Death Wish.
You just
would
have
be
so
on the
many
same.
heist movies.
Yeah, exactly. Can't handle
Heist,
'em.
the movie. Isn't that the one you just watched?
Heist.
The one with O'Shea Jackson
No,
Jr.?
it's
That was
Den
called
of
Den
Thieves.
Yeah. It was
Oh,
called-
whatever.
It might as
The
well
fucking
might
Heist.
as well have been called Heist, the movie.
Tower Heist, we did talk about that.
I think we
true.
talk about it often.
Yeah.
Outside of the podcast.
I'm
Holiday
gonna say
Heist.
I would like to kind of hit up theaters if
Yeah,
that's okay.
I would.
Do you really want to hit up theaters, or you
I'm
just
just
really
trying to
don't want to
avoid-
watch Grown Ups?
Yes.
Well, if we
Very
end up
much,
if we
yes.
end up with Grown Ups at some point, I would like to get Grown Ups too because I have actually seen Grown Ups. So
And you've just
And you
been-
want to finish.
for once in the history of the podcast, I want to see the sequel to a movie that I've seen the first of, rather than it always going to the person who hasn't seen the first one.
they're just. I can't believe you. Actually, no, I can't believe you've seen that movie.
Oh,
I don't
of
know.
course.
No,
I
it
don't
was
know. That's
it was on. It was. I watched it on TV. It's not
no,
like I
that-
saw
no,
it
no,
in
no. It's not an
theaters.
indictment to you. It's just like it's not shocking that
that I have just like decided to watch it.
because
at some point.
because you. I think that you have you keep company with people who want to make a
No.
point to see movies like that.
No, I mean I've been in a room where people are like, "Oh yeah, Grown Ups," and
Yeah.
like when it came on, and I was just like,
And you're go with Guy, so
"Yeah."
that's or come with Guy. That's what it is. Seinfeld reference.
It could also be, if you
No.
aren't familiar. interpret it.
No, stop, please, no.
No. The listeners need to know.
A come with guy.
Damn
It
it.
means you just like to go along places with them.
Yep.
Anyway, well, what are you guys thinking?
Do we want to
The
maybe
one is
just?
so mismatched.
Do we want to just like? Do we want to just roll a die?
Yeah, I mean,
for the
how
two
could you
theat-
even consider putting
Here, do you-
Strangers and Hurricane Heist together?
Do you want to just roll this die for one of the two matches, and odd as one, evens the other, and then you can pick?
Sure.
All right, so which is which?
All right, let's do evens are
Wait,
a
no.
wrinkle in time.
No, that one should be odds because that pairing is odd.
Sure.
Mm.
So odds are a wrinkle in time. Okay.
It's Prey and
Strangers,
Strangers.
Yeah, my bad.
Pray at night. Yeah,
Yeah.
Strangers Pray at Night.
And then
Hurricane.
Which I've also
Hurricane Heist. Fuck, I keep
which
saying
I've also
Holiday.
seen the first one of. Well, although I think
I've seen the
I
first
mean,
one,
I
yeah.
figured that's like a first movie that I would have expected you
Mm-hmm.
guys to probably have seen.
Yeah.
Okay.
You've seen Strangers, right, Charlie?
no, not all the way through.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to.
Uh,
It looks good.
So spoiler
but,
alerts: Liv Tyler dies.
I mean, I probably would have figured.
Well, she was due after surviving through Armageddon.
Yeah, and giving away her eternal life to a
Yeah,
human.
for real. It's about time.
Anyway, yeah.
All right, Steve. Pick a number, or pick even or odd for.
No, pick one number and you gotta roll until you get it.
And then we'll do the
And
next
amount
5
of,
minutes.
And the amount of rolls that it takes to get that.
That's how many coins I
divided by
flip.
3.
What do you want Hurricane Heist to be? Evens or odds? And that's what you'll.
Hurricane Heist is odds.
Okay, so
And
if it's odds, that's what you get.
Yeah. Damn it!
Wait,
you
so
get
I get
Hurricane
Hurricane Heist?
Heist,
Ah,
and
shit.
you get.
I kind of
we-
wanted Strangers.
I
but...
figure, and we all know how much Steve loves horror movies too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially
The
slasher
first-
movies that will probably have gore.
The first time when I watched the first Strangers movies, I think I was in Florida with my dad and his girlfriend's family.
And it was happening in real life.
Yeah. No, I went to see it with them, and I was like in the theater with my stepsister and her. I think fiance. I think
daughter.
No, like her fiance. And I was just like in the theater with like my hands in my armpits, just trying not to freak out in the theater around these people that I do not know very well.
Also doing your best Molly Shannon
Yeah,
impersonation.
exactly.
I mean, I did it at the end of the film, just to make it look normal.
And because you always like to announce how you're feeling, and you felt like a superstar.
Yeah, that is
yeah.
true.
So, all right, I have these trailers pulled up, and we'll go ahead and watch them. So you can go ahead and say what you were saying about
I don't remember.
Hurricane Heist. You're saying no.
How he's so excited to see it, and how I've already lost.
The trailer was more entertaining than I thought.
For Hurricane Heist.
Yes.
I'm holding out for the sequel though, the Nor'easter Nab.
Oh yeah, sure.
It didn't land as well since you guys helped me with the punchline.
Sharknado 12.
The whole time we were watching that trailer, I was trying to think of a word that started with an N for that joke. I was like, Nor'easter something. Anyway. Yeah, so the thing about the Prey trailer, God, fuck, not Prey. Strangers trailer was that ending when, she's inside of that little tube. I don't know, like her talking just makes it seem kind of goofy.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were trying to go a little goofy. Actually,
Because that was the part that I disliked the most about the first movie, is that the entire movie they don't say anything, but then the girl talks at the end to somebody who isn't involved. Like when they're leaving the scene, they talk to some kids who are going door to door with pamphlets. And they talk to them, and I was like, I was way more freaked out by them just not having said anything the entire movie.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Steve, you were hoping that this was a PG-13 horror movie. No,
God,
it is
it's
rated
R.
R
Fuck.
for horror, violence, and terror throughout.
All
damn it.
throughout.
Yeah,
At least
so
you're gonna get bang for your buck, dude.
yeah, well, and that means you're gonna have to go with your mom, because how else are you
They
gonna get in?
will not let me in
Oh.
because of last time.
Yeah.
I'm like, sir, we remember.
Wait, hold on. Are you talking about when you saw Resident Evil? Hold on. Wait a minute. Was he sitting in front of you, Charlie?
Yes, I
all
went to Mississippi.
You remember what happened in that theater?
I do.
Okay.
What? Yeah. I mean, he remembers what happened. He doesn't remember the movie because his head was down the whole time.
Oh, damn it, I'm that part. Damn it. I hate you, Tyler.
You should have seen it coming.
Should have.
That's dark in there.
Exactly.
I hate you guys so much.
But then the Hurricane Heist trailer is just.
It was edited so badly.
It was.
We gotta go save my brother.
I was more upset at how they cut up Rock You Like a
it was
Hurricane.
just saying "Here I
Yeah,
am"
just
like
hear it,
5 times in a row.
That's weird for them to do that.
And a hurricane of that size would probably knock out the entire eastern seaboard. It would just.
Well, I mean, it
destroy.
looked like at one point the ground and buildings were folding up, like it was ripping up.
Yeah, that's-
the crust of the
That's
earth.
really
Yeah.
when you gotta
Well,
wonder.
see that, but that wasn't the hurricane. That was the Decepticons trying to pull back the Allspark again.
Okay,
At the
yeah,
end
that's
of
right,
the
shit.
not the most recent
Yeah.
Transformers, but the one before that,
Mm-hmm.
the first Mark Wahlberg.
Thanks for what, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah,
Uh,
in Transformers,
I always thought his name was something else.
Marky Mark.
No,
Marky Mark.
Cade Yeager.
Oh yeah, Kate.
Every time you mention that, you gotta mention his name.
Hey,
Cade
remember
Yeager.
that he's part auto or part transformer? But fuck you.
I've never seen it, so
Well,
He
I've-
told us about this.
I know what you're talking about. It's like in Arrow when they show that fucking room of corn or whatever.
What?
Well, that's explained.
Room
though.
of
I mean,
corn?
Yeah, there's
Wait, that room in the Freak on a Leash video?
yeah. No, that's corn. That's corn in a room. No, there's an episode of Arrow down the line where like they show just the stinger of the episode is just them showing a room of corn, right?
Yeah, they explain it then.
But it wasn't until like 15,
I don't remember
15 episodes
I don't remember
later.
if they allude to it or not, but yeah.
Anyway, we should move on before
we should
before this becomes the why
Before
is there a room full of corn?
I was gonna say before Damien Dark takes us down.
Man, I don't think you could. You'd have to pay me a decent sum of money to go to a Korn concert.
Well, Korn's listening. How much? How much?
I'd do it for $1,000.
Make your offer.
Oh, sorry to any of our fans that listen to that. I just think that would be a gross venue.
No, I'm sorry if you listen to that.
And also, fuck your music taste. Nah, I like what you like. Whatever.
Charlie's not here to judge, but also fuck yourself.
What's that workaholics quote where he's like everything? He's like, you can have your own opinion, but you're stupid and I hate you.
Yeah.
So
I'm just here to take Korn to task every week.
The old KT yeah, never mind. KTT is Korn to task.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So Steve, you know what time it is. Wait, hold on. Do we? Yeah, no, you know what time it is.
It's time for movie news.
Uh-huh.
Damn it.
And that was actually the soundbite of Steve farting from last week's
shut
episode. So Steve, what do you got?
For movie. So I heard that the release date for New Mutants was pushed back about 10 months.
Yeah.
Because they're doing reshoots, and word is that they're adding an entire new character in reshoots. So the whole idea of the movie is there are 5 or 6 young mutants who are trapped in this psych facility that are being tested. So it's kind of like a weird superhero origin.
Breakfast Club.
Yes. Superhero origin / like they said horror, but it's probably more like the original Strangers, where it's more just kind of like a thriller where they're like not really sure what's going on. But in the movie, it kind of goes through like how they found their powers and like what they did to get trapped in this medical facility. But they're adding apparently a new character, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be impressive if they pull it off, I guess.
Right.
Because that's a pretty big feat.
Yeah, that almost like it's pretty extensive reshoots needed then for that.
I mean,
well, at least that always
10
is
months
successful.
of reshoots.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure Solo will also be super successful when they replaced an entire actor. So that is
That's all I got.
okay.
For that.
Charlie, do you have anything?
So I was just going to talk about those Shazam set photos that came out.
Okay.
I think they're pretty cool. I think the suit is fine. I think it looks good, and I think it's going to look really good once it's polished and everything like that. I'm glad they didn't go with the recent animated version where it's like a perfectly equilateral tiny triangle lightning bolt up top. I'm glad it's got some length on it, but I think it's going to be fine.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm excited for it.
I want to see what the final.
I mean, I like
looks like.
I like Zach Levi and like I mean, I've seen some of the photos where it's just like the normal suit, but I've seen some pictures where I don't know if it's fan done or something where they've added like some polish to it, and I thought it looked good.
Yeah, so that has me a little excited for the DC extended universe again, but.
But you know that it's going to come out, and you're going to be like, "Fuck, we should have gotten the Snyder cut instead."
If he was involved, yes, always.
At all points, Charlie, like no matter what is happening, Charlie's gonna be like, "But where's that Snyder cut?" Like we'll be in Infinity War and we'll watch the like after credit scene in Infinity War and be like, "But for real, where's that Snyder cut?"
Man, fuck Marvel. They should have released the Snyder cut. God damn it, Paul.
How funny would that be if Marvel released the Snyder cut of a DC movie?
That'd be fucking great. They got the power.
Yeah, they do.
They just hire him on, and then just give us all your old files, and they just fight the legal case.
I mean, they could.
Yes.
So,
I am excited. I am excited for Infinity War. I mean,
I'm surprised that you didn't bring this up, but I guess I'll use it for mine. Officially cast Kristen Wiig as Cheetah in the new Wonder Woman movie, so I feel like that can lead to some good discussion here. So what do you guys think about that?
I don't know enough about the character. I mean, so it's hard for me to say anything other than I like Kristen Wiig, although she's not known for her seriousness. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't doubt that she will do a good job if she commits to the whole role.
Yep, I'm totally on board for it as long as it's not the SNL Kristen Wiig that we know from most of her skits towards the end.
As long as she doesn't do any awkward singing.
It's okay.
I mean, that was great. Keep going.
But you know what I mean, though.
No, I know
anybody
exactly
that
what you're
knows
talking about.
knows
Like that
character.
Isn't that like
get all wide-eyed and put your chin back and
then just kind of groan a little bit? Because isn't that like her convenience store?
Oh, I mean, she does like the Target lady and then a bunch of different things like that, but they all have kind of a common thread throughout all of them.
Right.
So I'm down with it as long as she takes it as a unique role.
Yeah.
And
which I'm sure she
takes it a little seriously.
As,
it doesn't have to be
all
serious,
actor.
but hopefully.
I think I've read that she was pretty much she has said before how she kind of hates how she's typecasted as that character that she gets, and she's like, I want to actually fucking act. So yeah,
sweet
awesome.
Then.
Yeah,
so let's do it.
So hopefully, she proves everybody wrong. That's
Yeah, it's hating on her.
Yeah,
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's something that I want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, the visuals, I'm very intrigued on how they're going to pull that off, because that character is ridiculous looking.
Yes.
Fucking just an upright cheetah lady.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Steve, believe it or not, but the cheetah, it looks like a cheetah.
Never before.
It's not even clever looking.
No.
It's just like a cheetah.
Yeah.
Upright.
I have played Injustice.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. So I guess that didn't really yield as much conversation as I thought it would. But
I mean, I hate Kristen Wiig and do not believe she should get this.
Burn her.
So moving on to
I got two things I like. So
shit,
we'll get there. Easy on there, hot shot.
Cereal and cookies.
Oh no,
Cookie
cereal.
So Steve, you've got some content that you have viewed.
Do you want me to do that,
or
before the stuff we actually like?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I want you to spew the content out that you received into our own content.
Okay.
So
where would you like me to start?
Let's start with 7 seconds.
7 seconds. It was pretty good. What ends up happening is.
And the show is about a kid, 12 or something like that.
He's 14.
Okay, 14-year-old African American kid.
Yes.
Who is
he's struck by a car.
Okay.
That's when he gets the superpowers that all the billboards are presenting.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. No.
I thought you were gonna say he's struck by a car and then a cop shoots him.
No. He's struck by a car and the car was being driven by a police officer.
Off duty or
off duty.
Okay.
And he just got onto this new narcotics task force, and the guy sprinkle some crack. Yeah.
I was thinking he feared for his life. So
the sergeant basically tells him that the kid's already dead, cover it up. They're just don't do anything with this, just get out of here.
Yeah.
And just forget all of this. And then it turns out that someone ends up finding the kid. And it turns out that he's alive when they find him, so he was just bleeding out in a blizzard for 12 hours. And and of course he ends up dying. And then as the prosecutor and the investigator kind of figure out what's going on, it becomes it becomes racially charged as well, because of course he was an African American child and all this stuff. So it goes through what's kind of the fight between the public and the precinct sort of thing.
So is it he's driving through a blizzard and accidentally hits him?
Yeah,
is it just
basically.
I guess that explains the snowy billboards then.
Yeah, it's
not nuclear fallout you said. That's what it looks like.
The kid is cutting through this park out in the middle of nowhere to get home real fast, and it's like real early in the morning, and the cop just doesn't see him because his wife just went into labor, and he was like on the phone or something, and he doesn't see the kid because he just kind of comes
he's also
like around
texting and he's
Wait, is he on the street or is the cop driving through the park?
cooking a panini.
It's weird. It's like a
Central
dirt
Park shortcut.
Well, I don't
takes
I don't,
out his little portable siren.
It's kind of confusing because I think
Over the little bridges.
it's almost like a dirt road, like an access road through a park or something.
Okay.
So I think he was cutting through like the access road area of a park,
Yeah,
because he's a police officer or whatever, and I don't know. It's that part was kind of confusing.
So why is it called 7 Seconds?
Because the whole
There's a part where they go into they're at like a
I know.
At the very beginning of the movie, the kid is at a party and he's put inside the closet with a girl for 7
I
seconds.
thought you were gonna go for that
heaven.
Justin Timberlake Madonna song or whatever
Oh,
it was.
no.
I'm not really sure why they use this exact moment of time, but at the very end, the prosecutor uses the amount of time, 7 seconds, to say like, how long did this guy stand there and look at this kid in this ditch before he decided to walk away and not try and get him help.
Gotcha. All right, so
7 hours.
You said that it was good.
It was good at the end. It is kind of annoying that they kind of set it up that the cop ends up being a jerk.
Yeah.
Because yes, at the very beginning he thinks the kid died and he's like very broken up about it.
Uh-huh.
And then pretty quickly he just turns a switch and was like, it's me versus him. Like the kid's a thug. I can try and get drugs off the street. Like me ignoring him and like trying to stay out of jail is better for society than if I actually just admit that I killed this kid.
You thought it would have been more interesting if he was kind of being forced to cover it up, and
that's how it is originally. He's being forced to cover it up, but then he kind of
instead of start the mustache twirling.
And it's just kind of one of those things where, like, I understand it's a whole, like the black community versus the police, and that like it's a very common thing that's happening a lot.
Yeah, and can you like go more into that topic, Steve?
No,
I know that you have a lot of,
and you're so one-sided.
I just it's hard to keep moving forward when, like, yes, it's like bad things happen with police officers, but it gets tiresome when they just kind of blanket and like all police officers is like just very disregarding of human life.
Well, and also taking a situation and a character where it is more 3-dimensional, than just shoving it into that 2-dimensional thing where he is now 100% the villain. When before it's like, oh, okay, he did a shitty thing, but he's like.
And he doesn't know what to do about it,
and he's being forced and fucked over by the system as well. Like,
especially in a situation where, in this case, it's an accident. It was a stupid accident, but it still wasn't like.
So there's definitely
I can see that.
There's definitely something a little more interesting there that you think they kind of floundered on they
could have leaned harder into that rather than just turn him into a piece of shit so very quickly.
Yeah. But you would give it let's give a rating out of how many seconds?
the full 7.
Wow.
No, I would give it like a 7 out of 10 just because there's like some really good stuff there too with like the main investigator. He's a really good character, and they kind of also go through a young girl who comes from a privileged life who has found her way into drugs, and like she's a witness, and then their interaction as he's trying to like bring her back from the world of drugs. Yeah. Too. So like it's solid.
You know, that's
it was a movie or a miniseries?
It's a miniseries, I think.
Gotcha.
It's I think it's like 12 episodes.
You know, we've been doing this for almost 2 years and we haven't come up with our own rating system. We need to work on that. Steve, so next let's hear from Sneaky Pete. How's he doing? No spoilers, please.
Oh, of course. I really liked this season. It's weird because there's a slight disconnect from Pete and the family.
Okay.
Like they do interact, but they're kind of on different paths in this one, so it's not quite as invasive. Like it's not quite as cohesive as it was in the first one. But I really like this season. I like the way it's set up for the next season. There's just a lot of stuff going on. A police officer comes in to investigate the killing of the New York cop from the end of season 1.
Yeah, played by Sam Rockwell, I guess.
No.
He's reprising his role from 3 Billboards.
No. But there's a lot of good stuff going on. Like I said, I don't want to go into it, but you find out more about like I think the part that I really enjoy is the very beginning. You're kind of along for the ride as Giovanni Ribisi's character, Marius, is trying to figure out what these guys want from him as he's Pete. So he's like,
yeah.
So you're kind of, and they do a really good job in this show of kind of leading you to the pieces of a con. Because you know how sometimes in movies, it's kind of like a reveal at the end of like, hey, we just didn't tell you these things.
Yeah.
And like, haha, it's different now. They kind of do a good job of giving you clues to try and piece the con together yourself.
Yeah.
And okay. I think that's a really hard thing to do, and I really enjoy it when it's done right.
It's not as cheap as just like
like
you said, look at these things that you're so stupid you didn't even know the shit that we didn't tell you or allude to at all.
Yeah, like what was that movie with Edward Norton and Jessica Biel, The Illusionist?
Yeah.
Where like at the very end it's just like, okay, so this is what really was going on. Bye. Enjoy. Yeah. Hope you had a good hour and a half.
Okay, so out of 10, I guess we're not.
That one would be I would say a solid 9. I really enjoyed it.
Sweet.
Okay, and then
once again, I find this to be Giovanni Ribisi's like best role that I've seen him in.
And then what everybody's been wanting to hear about Jessica Jones season 2.
I liked it. It drug in the middle because you just there's this point where you're just like you can't keep making this exact same wrong decision.
Yeah.
But like they do have it set up so that it's understandable that she kind of makes that wrong decision.
Okay.
And then they do set. I'm more excited for the next season than I was through this season.
Interesting.
So like they set some stuff up for the next season to introduce a newer hero, and things like that, and that I'm more interested in. And then another problem is like there's a bunch of things going on, like there's a bunch of different storylines, and they're all interesting, but they're so not connected that it just feels weird jumping around between them sometimes.
Yeah, okay,
sure.
But overall, I do think this is one of the lower Marvel shows, but I think that
shows or season in particular.
Season, because Jessica Jones season 1 was probably my favorite.
Sure,
it's probably still my favorite.
Okay,
but this one's lower than I don't know exactly where it would go right now, but I know it's still definitely above Iron Fist.
But it's below Last Jedi.
Yeah, yes.
Fuck, I couldn't. I was having a whale of a time trying to remember that title.
I would probably put it as on the bottom of like everything but Iron Fist. Okay. But it's still good. I would give it a 7 as well.
And who's Iron Fist again?
Danny Rand.
Oh, okay, all right.
I can never remember.
Yeah. Okay, so what, out of 10?
Yeah. 7 out of 10.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that.
Yeah.
That's why I said out of 10. You responded, yeah.
Yeah.
Steve, I just want you to say 7 out of 10 for everything. Yeah, it's probably 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10. Yeah, it's a little better than average.
So our rating system is how many 7 out of 10s?
Yeah, I would give it 7 out of 10s.
Now I guess we'll start wrapping this up with stuff we actually like. Steve, you've been going on and on for quite a while now, so
continue.
Yeah, sure, why not?
So at the most recent Nintendo Direct,
yes,
they announced they at least announced Smash for Switch. So Smash Brothers is coming to Switch.
It looks like it's a new one because
Inkling's probably going to be in it.
The what's his name? The guy who created it.
Yeah, Sakurai.
He tweeted about how he's been like working his ass off every single day.
Yeah.
For like years now.
And in the paragraph at the end, this has like been a big thing on some of the Facebook groups I'm a part of. One of it says like a brand new game.
No, it says original title.
Oh, original title.
And it's copyright, but that's what it says on every single game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean that's just
every single game after the first Smash Brothers, the copyright thing says original title, and I think that's mainly because in like Smash 4, they had Bandai Namco help out. They had so many other companies help out that it's like original title copyrighted to Nintendo and HAL. I think.
Did you click the read more though on that post? Because he's like, I've been working my ass off every single day on the tripping algorithm.
Yeah, it's back, baby, bigger than ever.
No,
more frequent than ever.
But everyone thinks that the Inkling from Splatoon is going to be in it too.
Yeah, I think that was and it looks like the Breath of the Wild Link is in it. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a new one, but it's going to use the same engine as the Wii U, which makes more sense. Everybody thinks that it has to be a new engine. It seems like that are like, no, it's impossible because it's only been 4 years. It's like, just fucking use the same Wii U engine. Like, that was a good engine. And then just add in, more characters and
hopefully they just keep adding more, not taking any characters away.
Yeah,
I think they seem to. The taking away characters always seems to be mostly on the Pokemon. They kind of like
that's fine.
Pull some out,
sure.
and then they tend to replace them with characters that kind of feel similar.
I think there needs to be something like some of the Fire Emblem people can go.
Oh my god! And
like how many are there now? Like
there's
3.
The Ike, Lucina, Marth.
Shit, I guess I didn't play the last one.
Ike, Lucina, Marth, Robin, Corrin.
Robin, that's who I was
I
Corrin.
definitely didn't play the last one. I just remember like 2 or 3.
What's the other one? You said Marth. Did you say
Corrin.
Roy?
Yeah, Roy's in there too. So 6 Fire Emblem characters.
Oh, okay. Brawl is the last one I played. So
Brawl had 2.
Roy, Marth.
No, they had Ike and Marth. Because Roy was in Melee and they took him away for Brawl.
Yeah.
And they replaced Roy with Ike because
Ike Turner.
Melee had the problem with a lot of their bonus characters are being like slightly different main characters. So they replaced Roy with Ike, who they created like a more unique feel to.
Sure.
Yeah, but there's like a shit ton of Fire Emblem characters. There's a shit ton of Pokemon characters. I think that they need to. It'd be cooler to get a couple from each.
I just want Banjo-Kazooie
property. I mean, that's Microsoft now, isn't it? Oh, but I guess they got Metal Gear Solid Snake, and they got somebody else.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah, they got Leisure Suit Larry in there.
Jesus.
Man, his up B is crazy. He just bounces off them boobies.
God damn it! I can totally see them doing that.
His projectile though is foul.
Yeah, this is the first AO Super Smash Brothers game.
Whole new meaning to Smash.
Whole new meaning?
Whole other meaning to Smash.
Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Super Smash Bros.
Anyway, Charlie, what do you
I mean, that could just be the subtitle of a Leisure Suit Larry game. Leisure Suit Larry Super Smash Bros.
With all new high-fiving minigame.
I mean, keep in mind this is the game.
Oculus Rift is sick, bro.
The last game was called Magnum Cum Loud. I mean, I think subtlety is lost amongst these.
I don't think there was ever any subtlety in the Leisure Suit Larry games.
Leisure Suit Larry : sex video game.
and that's just colon spelled out.
Sex.
Charlie, save us.
What's weirdest is that's one of those leapfrog entertainment system video games.
Well, yeah, because they know that you're not going to want to play anything else, so they might as well package it into a system.
Sure.
For children.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, 2 things that I like. One is a fast one. It's just a headline I really liked, and it's Henry Winkler and Raven-Symoné to guest star in Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy Season 3. Whoa, 2 huge names for cartoons.
That's true.
Henry Winkler, sure, but like the Raven-Symoné is going to be the next Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon series. Oh my god.
Thank God, my life is complete.
And then I always like getting updates about Universal's Dark Universe. And the one is that the producer from The Shape of Water is in talks to potentially join it.
So this is still happening?
That's what I like
news.
about it.
Is that the Dark Universe is still a thing.
And also them just probably being like, okay, Creature from the Black Lagoon,
And so
Shape of Water, they did well. We'll throw you a fuck ton of money, and it's just a producer and probably be like, yeah, sure, whatever.
So are you telling me that the games have in fact begun and they're going to continue making these movies?
I guess so.
Thank God.
Steve, have you ever seen that?
No.
Dracula Untold?
Oh,
When they first tried to do the Dark
yeah, I
Universe
did. I
thing?
did watch
At the
Dracula
and,
Untold.
No, when they first started was the Mummy, dude.
and
Totally was the
at
Mummy.
the very end of the movie, it's like the setup for the whole thing, and the guy goes, "Let the games begin."
I do remember that. God, that movie was bad. Like it bothered me so. Like he's like, you have 3 days to be a vampire to save your son, and the first day is like, well, it's already almost morning. I guess I'll just get to it tomorrow. I was like, what?
He's got a point.
Man,
He
it's
was
almost morning.
he was already in his pajamas.
And then like the next night, he was like, I still got another night. There's no reason to rush.
Yeah, no. Why should I stress?
I'll write that essay tomorrow.
Okay, so then something that I like, you guys already know because I've been talking to you guys about it pretty frequently this past week. Final Fantasy 15
You've
Windows.
also been playing it
Yeah.
the entire time we've been here.
Yeah, it's just been on this whole time. The Windows Edition is the subtitle because it finally came out on a PC, and it came out on Tuesday. And yeah, I've been putting in lots of hours into this game. It is. It starts out. It says a Final Fantasy game for fans and newcomers, and I'd like to think that that's true because I'm a pretty big fan of
Because
Final
you
Fantasy.
are one of those.
Yeah, I'm one of those, and I'm having a ball. It's the combat. I know. I talked to you, Charlie, about this. The combat leaves a little bit more to be desired in the way it's handled because you, Steve. I know you saw some of the combat, but the way that it's done is you really to attack you hold down B, and then to like dodge you hold down X.
And if you want to win, you just hold down both triggers.
Exactly.
What is this? Rechain of memories?
And there are some other things into it, like you can use technique points to like have one of your other party members do a special attack that you can like chain with them,
Sure.
or things like that. And I think that as it's gone on, the way that the combat is done makes a little bit more sense just because it's that active combat and it can be kind of intricate. There can be like a good amount of enemies at once, like attacking you.
When I was watching you play it earlier, I was like, this combat is so like I have zero clue what's going on right now.
Yeah, so I mean, it really is not confusing at all. Like, I mean, it looks like because there's so much going on, but yeah. So I can see how you could be like, oh, holy shit! Well, like, how is Tyler, keeping track of all this shit going on? But it's literally I was just holding down B, and then every now and then checking, my tech points to do certain attacks.
I guess too, maybe you can make more out of it if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, you can parry. So like if you,
I mean, like with the combinations and stuff. I guess you don't have to do that, but if you want to make it cooler looking or more intriguing,
it's I mean, I am a sucker for the more turn-based style, like
Yeah, me too.
And this was I was like I don't know if I want to go in on this because of the combat. I decided I would just let myself get used to it, and going in on it, I mean, it's not bad. They tried to have an option where it's like turn-based, but it's pretty bad because it's just like it's kind of like the KOTOR fighting. I don't know if you've ever
not
played.
familiar enough.
But Steve, you know how like it kind of just pauses and then you like pick what attacks you want to do, and that's how like it would do that.
It gets like real clunky.
Yeah. But I mean, it's beautiful looking. It's a great looking game. The story, obviously, I mean, it's nonsense because it's Final Fantasy.
It didn't look as good as like Watch Dogs to me, but
I would say Minecraft is probably the pinnacle.
Yeah, you're right.
But only if you're on a Christian server.
Are there other servers?
Not that I go to.
I mean,
but Tyler's only on the dark web, so
yeah, I'd take that portal, the nether to the realm.
yeah.
Speaking of the dark web, did you guys hear that there is a movie premiering at South by Southwest called Unfriended: The Dark Web?
Is that a sequel to Unfriended?
I believe so.
Oh,
Oh
nice.
shit! I gotta see that.
Unfriended was great.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, as good as it had any right to be. At
Yeah.
least.
Which was none.
Yeah.
You don't have the right.
But yeah, so Final Fantasy 15 on Windows Edition. My bad. It came also since I got it on Steam, it came with a the HEV suit from Half-Life, the orange thing, and then a crowbar weapon.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Is it selling well on the computer? Like, do you think they'll do it or keep releasing it on there from now on too, or no?
Hopefully they've been going back and re-releasing stuff. Like they just re-released a like HD version of Final Fantasy 12 on Steam, and they also have like I have 7.
That's the shittiest
9,
one, right?
And 10. Yeah, that's the one that's
Literally no one likes.
Universally panned. Yeah. They have most of them on Steam, I think. Some of them are like real shitty ports though, so like that's always kind of a bummer. Like I think recently, this isn't Final Fantasy, but it's still Square. It's a Chrono Trigger, I think, got ported in to Steam, but it was like a shitty port of a shitty port. Like they ported in the mobile version.
I thought that cancels out then.
I thought because I've heard bad things about the PlayStation 1 version.
Maybe that's the same one.
Because
I know what you're
just
talking
because
about.
just because the PlayStation version, it was so clunky. It had like really bad loading.
Well, like
stuff.
apparently it's just
Problems.
stupid shit like ass backwards controls. Like select is start and start is like yeah.
God, I hate
like
when
shit.
shit happens.
Yeah, like shit like that. It's like what the fuck? Like did you guys even pay attention?
That's like if you paid my parents to map out the controllers. Like I don't know what these are. Just pick one of these.
Yeah. But yeah, so Final Fantasy 15 Windows Edition. Get on it, as well as wait, you guys didn't have really any tangible things, as well as watching the Nintendo
The
Direct.
Dark Universe is very tangible in my heart.
And then I'm seeing Hurricane Heist, and Steve is seeing Strangers.
I think
Prey
we're
on
going to be
Night.
seeing Hurricane Heist. Tyler.
I think I might have to see Strangers with you too.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what we're gonna be seeing next week. So tune into that. Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, all that jazz. Thanks, Movie versus Podcast. Thank you to Scott Blackwell for the images.
Scott Bakula.
Yeah, and a special thank you to Scott Bakula. And with that, bye.